This is the 4-layer Master Hexagonal TriPrism. It was designed by ND Puzzles, who have also created a lot of different variants of it. You can see a bunch of them here. I chose to buy this one because it seemed to be kind of the most complex one, and since all of them are about the same price, I decided why not have a little bit more of a solving difficulty. And the turning is overall very nice, although it does vary. The outer layers are a little bit harder to turn than the inner half, but it's not that big a deal. It's always turnable, and the side turns are always very easy to make. This puzzle looked complicated, and it has a really long name, but it's actually fairly simple once you get the hang of it. Pretty much a face-turning triangular prism that has been shape modded into a hexagonal prism, and the pieces have been split in half to allow for them to be further split. I would have personally called it the 4-layer split hexagonal TriPrism because Master I don't think is a good adjective for this puzzle, but the name wasn't up to me. The puzzle sticker scheme is very interesting. So as to make it a little more complex to solve, the top and bottom faces have kind of a super sticker scheme, which give all of the side pieces unique positions. Alright, so let's start talking about how to solve the 4-layer Master Hexagonal TriPrism. Wow, that's a long name for a puzzle. Now, I've actually spent a lot of time with this puzzle, and I think I've pretty much figured out everything that anyone would need to know if they wanted to solve it. So, this solve section is going to be a little more in-depth than they usually tend to be. So the first thing we of course want to start doing is get it back to its hexagonal prism shape, which is fairly intuitive. Alright, so the hexagonal prism shape has been restored. Now, I like to solve the inner layers before the outer layers, just because I think, actually, it's just an illusion that it's easier, because in reality it makes no difference, but let's go for the inner one first anyway, just because that's how I do it on puzzles like the 3x3x4. So basically what we want to do is create pairs of pieces that match the colors that are here on the top and bottom layers, and once we get the pairs done, we'll put them in the right positions by using normal moves. But keep in mind that by using normal 180-degree moves, you can't actually split these pieces apart. So basically a lot of what we're going to be doing is going to involve these 90-degree shifts. So let's see, are any of them correct? This one's correct, you can see it matches this. And that's it. Alright, so there's a procedure where it's just you pair up two pieces like that, and then you turn everything down so that you can replace the pair with an unpaired set of pieces, and then you turn it back so that we can pair more pieces. So here we are. So let's see what the result of that was. Now we have two pairs, another pair, and that's it. So we have 1, 2, 3 left. So let's just do the exact same thing now. Actually, before we do that, we're going to want them all to be on different sections, because for the 3-cycle to properly work, I'm not sure if this is even a 3-cycle, but bear with me, basically these are the two faces that we're using to pair everything up. So then this axis needs to have an unpaired one so that we can grab it from there. So let's put together this purple and this red. Bring everything down. Bring the unpaired one over. And let's see how to do this. Like that. And all of the inner ones are paired now, so it should be pretty simple to just match all these pairs to these. In fact, it's just trivial. And if I'm not mistaken, all of the inner pairs are currently paired to the top and bottom layers. Now this might shift around a little bit because we are just going to be turning only the top and bottom layers like that, but it shouldn't be too hard to fix it at the end of everything. So I'm just going to talk about the possible cases you can get when pairing up these pieces, which is the same as pairing up these pieces. You can get 3 left, which is what I got, and it's the best case because you can just easily put them all together and they fit. You can get 4, which can go one of 2 ways. You can, after you pair up with 4, you can either get 2 or 3. 3 is good because you can just pair them. 2 is a bit worse because it requires you to do some other special type things. So let's see if we'll get a 2 pair on these top and bottom layers. If I don't, then I'll just talk about it, but if I actually do, then I'll just show it. So let's do the exact same thing by just pairing up these pieces. Let's see what's currently paired. Just this, okay. Alright, so in the end, on the top and bottom layers, I did have just a simple set of 3 incorrectly paired pairs, but I'll still explain what to do if you have 2 that are incorrectly paired. So basically, from the situation where you have 2, you go back to 4, and then you kind of split them like this, where this and this would have been one of the incorrect ones, this and this would have been another, and then you position the other 2 incorrect ones here and here. And then you can turn this here, and basically then you have this kind of windmill setup, and you turn this 90 degrees and fix everything back to the prism shape, and it should be good, because you'll just have a 3 cycle left, which is what you want. So now that everything has been paired, it's just a simple matter of putting everything in place relative to the top and bottom triangles. So the inner layers once again match the top and bottom, if I turn the yellow face a little bit. And now the goal is to just make the outer 2 layers also match the top and bottom, which should be fairly simple. Alright, and if we make this final move, then the puzzle has been solved. So you can see this cap kind of wants to pop out. That's something that commonly happens. It's not a big deal at all. It's extremely simple to just put it back in, so I wouldn't say it bothers me at all. So there we are. The puzzle has been solved. If you have any questions about how I solved it, or maybe I didn't explain something well, or whatever, feel free to ask in the comments below. This was a really fun and unique puzzle to try out. I really liked how I had to think about how to solve it. It wasn't super difficult, but it also wasn't entirely visible like from the start. So that's that. If you want to buy it, links in the description below. Thank you all very much for watching, and have a good evening.